What's up YouTube, that's here, and today I'm going to be going over a pretty cool game featuring an Aerodactyl. I know people haven't really seen that much of Aerodactyl since like VGC 2014, but the way I'm seeing it right now, Aerodactyl seems to be a pretty good Pokemon. It works in the team the same way a Landorus would, but it doesn't really pack that Intimidate that is probably one of Landorus's strongest additions to a team. What Aerodactyl can contribute is moves like Skydrop, which can take away like my support Pokemon. For example, my Raichu this game gets Skydropped. It can take away things like Amoonguss. Also note that Aerodactyl gets things like Taunt, and it also gets access to like the guard moves, like Wide Guard. And then there's always the potential for flinch hacks with Rock Slide. So like I said, it pretty much takes up the same slot that a Landorus would, but a cool thing about Aerodactyl is you compare it with a Groudon because it's more of a bulky rock type than a bulky ground type. So it's a pretty cool Pokemon. I recommend pairing it with a Groudon. Today we're going to be going up against a Japanese guy who has Mawile, Aerodactyl, Groudon, and Xerneas. So we're just going to start this one up, get right into it, and hopefully show a pretty cool battle against a very unique support Pokemon. It's one of those Pokemon that's like a Swiss Army knife, you know, it can pretty much do everything. It's a sweeper, it's a setupper. I mean, this thing, obviously, you know I'm going to get Tailwind after seeing this lead right here, and that's pretty much what's going to happen. Swiss Army Knife Aerodactyl, that's probably what this video is going to be called, I don't know. Anyways, I lead off Xerneas Raichu against this Mawile Aerodactyl lead. Like I said, one of Aerodactyl's weaknesses is that it doesn't pack the same Intimidate that Landorus does, so my opponent leads Mawile with it to have that same huge effectiveness turn 1. Obviously, we're going to see Mega Mawile go Mega, gain that huge power, looking to get a one-shot on my Xerneas, so we're going to have to lock that thing down with Fake Out. Not very effective, obviously, on its Steel typing, but then we see a Tailwind come out from that Aerodactyl, and this makes me actually think that the Mawile is potentially heavily invested in speed. It looked like he was probably trying to just go for a Protect Tailwind, or sorry, an Iron Head Tailwind, maybe get the Xerneas off the board, and then potentially just sweep the rest of the game with Mawile. I don't really know what he was going for. He does have a Tailwind up, which is kind of scary, but I have a Geomancy up, which means I'm not afraid of anything. So turn 2 starts, and we're just going to protect this turn. We're going to wait out his Tailwind just a little bit. I'm trying to Volt Switch just to get a little bit of damage up onto the Mawile, but we see the Aerodactyl go for a Skydrop, and it's a move that works kind of like Fly, but it's a lot better because it picks the opposing Pokemon up for a turn and then drops them next turn, pretty much neutralizing that first attack that they were going to go for. So on the second turn after the Skydrop, I'm going to go for a Moonblast on this Mawile, and I realize it's not heavily invested in speed. It's incredibly bulky because my Raichu is still faster than it, and it looks like it's mostly Special D and HP, mostly just relying on the huge power boost to get that significant attack stat. As we switch into Groudon, and this is where I would have switched in my Salamence if I brought it, because switching in an Intimidator here would be huge. There's two very strong physical attackers on the board. We have to come in with Groudon just potentially if you wanted to go for like a player up on the Raichu slot. And also Groudon just has a ton of field presence, so I think it's a good Pokemon to come in with here. And we see the Mawile goes for the Iron Head, actually not going to pick up the KO because my Xerneas is full HP defense. This thing is a tank, and like I said earlier, that Mawile most likely has heavily invested EV spreads in the defensive stats over the offensive stats. So we're going to see a Rock Slide come out from the Aerodactyl. Remember, the Tailwind is still up on this guy, and he's going to flinch my Groudon as Tailwind no, I was wrong. Yeah, Tailwind expired there, but he flinched my Groudon. Rock Slide always paying dividends there. And we're going to see a Moonblast come, sorry, a Dazzling come in from my Xerneas, picking up the KO on the Mawile and the Aerodactyl. I actually thought it might have been a Sash. Usually that is the standard item on Aerodactyl, but this makes me wonder, what item was it holding? I know Aerodactyl can always hold the YOLO Aerodactylite or whatever, but I have to think it was probably a Lumberry to be a similar set than Crobat. Actually, looking back on it, Aerodactyl has a much similar set to Crobat versus something like a Landorus. The way I've always run Aerodactyl was like a very strong, very fast sweeper type Pokemon like Landorus, but this guy's set with Tailwind and Skydrop and potentially Lumberry. It resembles more of a Crobat set. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. That's actually a pretty realistic comparison there. So, get back to this battle. We have Xerneas Groudon versus Xerneas Groudon. Only one of us has a Geomancy off, so you can pretty much tell where this one's going to go. I went for the Dazzling Gleam, did a bunch of AoE. Precipice Blades is going to seal the deal, and it's going to get me that Is that a 4-stock? Yeah, Raichu Volt switched out. Yeah, that should be a 4-stock, I think. But pretty good game overall. I can't believe when I was like thinking up what I was going to talk about this video, I didn't realize that Aerodactyl was more of a Crobat set. So, like I said earlier, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you guys think that Aerodactyl set is more similar to something like a Landorus, or better suited to be a Crobat, like an offensive Crobat set? It could also just be its own thing. Who knows? He could have had the Aerodactyliter, however you pronounce that. But I mean, I actually am a big fan of actually running double megas on most teams and leading with double megas and just like, well, if I have to mega with this one, I have to mega with this one. Like first turn, if things just went south and I nuked his Mawile for some reason and like he didn't mega, like he was just trying to do something different, then obviously you are going to mega with your Aerodactyl. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.